think that we took on the sheet, and then we have a package that hopefully would include everything that was left. Hoping that we can agree on this and get this behind us. So I'll go through the sheet real quick. I think there's a few here that we took that were House positions. And then everything else is on the package. Also on the package, there's a mistake on page 1, down at the bottom. The 10 million was, we'd agreed on 6. So that was a misprint down there. So with that, we'll start out on the sheets. Page 1 was complete. Page 2, I think that's in the package. Page 3 is complete. Page 4 is in the package. On page 5, the item 7, the blueprint for literacy, your offer was 2.7. We'll accept that. Oh, it is in the package? Okay. Some of these I might duplicate, but I was thinking that was not there. Okay. I think most of this stuff is in the package. There was maybe an item or two I thought I had wrote down. Okay, on on page 14, on the nursing fair treatment, I think we had agreed on that one. The 500,000. Did you have that off your sheet or?
That was my last offer.
We're offer, so we're accepting that. Okay. Did we have this rural justice? Is that it? Did you see the rural justice in there when you went through there? Pardon me? That's why I said that's them. That's why I made sure. I think that's everything that I was. Pardon me? What page? Was that? 22, okay. Okay, on page 22, the Child Advocacy Center, you had given us Senate, and then we're going to go ahead and give you House on 27. I don't think that one was in the package, so.
22.
Page 22, near the bottom, the third and fourth. I think that I'm looking. The healthy food waiver, I think you had made the offer House modified on 5 million, and we're going to take that. That is page 24, item number 4. Which one? What page was that? On 20, pardon me?
11. It's number 11 and page 25.
On here, yeah. Did we have different language on that one? Page 25. Which one?
It's on page 4. It's in the package. Okay. It's on
These are
page
currently
4.
not in there? Okay.
It's, Rick,
Okay,
SNAP is in the package.
okay. Yeah, SNAP is in the package.
It's on page 4.
The modern income housing, I don't think that one was in the package. What page is that? Just,
What page?
I'm looking.
What are you looking for?
All right.
Moderate income housing
Yep.
thing?
Right,
Basically in ARPA.
right. We had approved the House position on that one. Not in the package. Okay, the Office of State Treasurer, the Aviation Loan Program. Find the page on that one. I don't think that was in the package. That's on page 23. And we agreed with you, but with the language, and I think that's right. On the aviation loan program?
Intent is this is done. We're done.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
That's the language you agree with?
Well, wherever, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, this is it. No further.
We're not doing
The aviation deal, okay. So yeah, you got it? You have the language? Or
the aviation language. Did we already pass that out last time? We passed that last time. We just added. We passed the aviation language out last time, and it included the $300,000 per job. So that was included the language. The only thing we added in addition to that, so we want to be sure you're agreeing is that the chairman and I requested that this be the last time that the intention of the legislature is that we would not make further PMIB loans. This is it. Is that what you're agreeing to?
I need to run that by leadership, because I didn't know that that was in there. I thought I knew the other language, but I hadn't had a time to read that one, so we'll probably have to, when we come back, I'll let you know on that.
That's not actually in this language. You're saying that's added it, right?
It's perfect.
It's not in
Okay, so it's not on the proviso language. Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, are there any other items on the tear sheets that have not been reconciled? Or Dylan, are you aware of any?
Mr. Chairman, so Office of State Treasurer build up, you did. Department of Children and Families, page 24, the Amazon Connect control increase.
On 24, the Amazon Connect contract increases, we went with the house on both of those. We may have, it's just, okay. Dylan?
I believe you've already addressed the healthy foods waiver and the inclusion connection. On page 30, Kansas Department of Health and Environment Health, prevent funding for abortion services.
Okay, on 15, on the abortion service, we do have a language. You have that, Senator Clues? You have it, Jesse? Okay. Dylan, you have some other,
Yes, sir. So if you go to page 32, Kansas Bureau of Investigations, Pittsburgh Regional Crime Center and Laboratory.
okay, the salaries is different. That's in the package, correct? The Pittsburgh Regional, we didn't have that in there, Dylan?
No, sir, I don't believe the decision on how to fund it, whether it's record check fee fund or SGF, I don't believe that's in the package.
I believe they said we couldn't use the record fee fund. Is that the way you understood it? That's the way we did, so we'd have to stick with the Senate position on that.
Mr. Chairman, the next one is statewide adjustment, state operations lapse, the 1.5% of state operations funded from SGF. That's on, it's in the back. 34, sir. Page 35.
35.
We went with House on that, right? 34, number 4, on page 34. Are you on 34? No,
35.
35. Them numbers are hard to see. Yeah, we went with the House on that.
The last item is on page 35. It's state employee pay. You indicated to me you weren't going to resolve it, but it is not in the package. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
We have a proviso that would be part of that.
All other remaining items should be within the package. We will be double checking them.
Okay.
Vice Chair Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a list of items. Did you guys address those list of items that were in the budget or had passed?
I do have the list. The first one is delete 2 million SGF for the virtual math. We agree on that one. Number two, delete 2 million SGF, school-based pilot on behavioral health. We agree with that one. Number three, a one-time language to belong KC. We agreed with that one. Number four, cap CTE at 50 million. We agreed to that one. Number five, delete unemployment payment language. We agree to that as long as we're assured that this is not going to affect the UAW. Number six was delete the 200K ARPA for Cheney Lake. I don't think that was yours, but I think that's one we brought. And we're okay deleting that. Number seven was add language to the aviation link deposit program for hiring and residence requirements. We agreed to that language, which you had. The part of that I have to check with our leadership is the ending the program. I mean, I can't just do that without running that center close.
And I actually have a proviso towards that one that got lost here in the papers. So at some point I need to bring that.
Okay, going down the list. Let's see, where was he at? Number eight, add language to have Cedar Crest Community Foundation to report to the legislature. We're okay with that one. Number 10, the delete 10.5 million ELAR fund from the Can Grow Engineering Initiative. We're saying no on that one. That's in statute. Number 11, the 20% reduction to community mental health centers grants. We're going to disagree on that one. The cuts scores, we disagree on that one. Number 13, add language for special education report with the state total by the school districts. We're okay with that one. Add language to allow headquarters to be other than downtown for the KBI. I think we already worked through that proviso earlier. You folks had said no on the Kansas Highway Patrol proviso. Add language for Bonnie Dam, we'd already agreed on that one. So I think that's pretty much everything that was offered on that original sheet.
Skip 9, is it on there? Skip number 9.
Yeah, I think that's, no, I think that was in the package.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that's in the package, yeah. Okay, so we'll go down our offer package. And as always, I always have a great package for you towards the end. So this is another one where there's a lot of House positions. So item number one, Department of Agriculture, the mutual wheat production, we go with the House, funding that 1 million with the State Water Fund. The DEI language, do we have that language? Is that one you have, Senator? The DEI? I thought you did. So have we agreed on it? So your changes, I thought there was something. So, do you want to grab that or?
Talk about it. I mean, it's the same language you talked about.
Yeah, it's the same language that we talked about last time. Basically, it's the conceptual amendment in writing. And what it does is it provides an opportunity for the Board of Regents, along with consultation with the post-secondary educational institutions, to come up with a definition of DEI-CRT that is based on the goals of this section. And then it would not go into effect until the school year of 2028 academic. So that's fiscal year 2029. That gives them plenty of time to work through all of the details.
Representative Ballard.
Question, what we're looking at is that the university sign off on this, or the group you were working with? This language?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, you can proceed.
Okay, number 4 is DEI for Fort Hays. Moving on to Kansas Board of Regents, the business, industry, and apprenticeship. We took the House on that. Kansas Board of Regents, 2-year capital outlay. We took the House on that. Kansas Board of Regents, we took the House modified, add 2.7 million SGF. Kansas State Department of Education, cut score language, we stayed with the Senate on that one. Kansas State Department of Education, cut score, we stayed with the Senate. Kansas State Department of Education, House. Kansas State Department of Education on National Board Certification, House. Kansas State Department of Education, Special Education Funding Reporting. We took House on the reporting. Department of Education, Special Education Funding. We took the House position at $6 million. Page 2, number 8, Kansas State Department of Education. This is the State Assessment Contract Innovation Assessment Pilot Program. We took the House. Number 8, State Assessment Contract again. We took the House. Number 8 again on student walkout language. We stayed with the Senate. The dairy facility at Kansas State, we took House on the ARPA funds in 27. In 28, we agreed to the 5 million SGF. And in 29, we agreed to the 5 million SGF. Again, we have the DEI at Kansas State. The Extension Service, cooperative reorganization. We're going with the House position on reorganizing. Kansas State University Veterinary Medical Center. We're going with the House on that language and reports. The DEI at Pittsburgh, we went with the House. On page 3, number 12, University of Kansas, SGF reappropriation, we went with the House. University of Kansas, DEI, House. Wichita State University, DEI, House. Wichita State University, the digital transformation, we stuck with the Senate. Wichita, on the digital transformation, we took the House in the year 2028. Board of Nursing, Fair Nursing, we did a House modified at 500. And then number 14, Friends of Cedar Crest, House modified. We have some language. Senator Cluche, you have that language?
Yes.
Friends of Cedar Crest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On this one, we're going to simply strike the language "and expenditures made by such association." So the secretary already has eyes on the expenditures, so rather than go in public.
Okay, moving on. Kansas Department of Commerce Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, took the House. Department of Commerce Emergency Heal Grant, House. These are all EDIF. Level Up Kansas, 2 million, Senate modified. Department of Commerce Public Broadcasting, we took the House EDIF. Rural Opportunity Zones, we took the House. Remote Workplaces, we took the House. Lottery Transfers, we did a Senate modified with transfers of 25% of the revenues that would go to the Attracting Professional Sports Fund to the SFC HCBS account. Senator Cluse has got language. Thank you.
Do we have that one? We can pass that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, what this is going to do is we're going to continue on a 2-year proviso, adding the 2 million, which we've already been doing the last couple of years, and then we'll come back, and that'll go to the clubhouse and the community-based service, and then we will take 25% of what's going into the Attracting Professional Sports to Kansas Fund, and then that would be transferred over to State Finance Council for Home and Community-Based Service Fund, and that will be also a 2-year proviso. And that's pretty well the gist of it, to fund those.
Okay, moving on. Where's we at here? Okay. The Radical Life, we took the House position. On number 25, we did a Senate modified on the SNAP administrative match. Add language that the agency provide expenditure information on administration expenditures and error rates before the State Finance Council can release the funding. Next one is HCBS Frail and Elderly Waiver. We took the Senate position on that. Department of Aging Disability Service, the HCBS Frail and Elderly Waiver. We took Senate. On the IDD Employment Transportation Pilot Program, we took Senate. That's funded with EDIF. On the IDD Mental Health Resource Centers, we did Senate, 1 million SGF. Medicaid capacity, we stuck with the Senate, the 75 million, including 29.3 SGF for the $20 a day bed rate. And I know we had discussion on that, and so we know that we'll probably come back on these rates, because I know we had talked earlier about lower rates, but they had already started printing this, so that's why it's like that. Okay, Mental Health Intervention Team, Senate modified. We agreed to delete the 4 million SGF, which leaves 12 million SGF in that account. Nutrition Services, we have a House modified, add 3 million SGF and add language that no less than 5.7 million be distributed to Meals on Wheels providers. And I guess that could have been a Senate modified, but irregardless, next is the PD, pardon me? Okay, yeah. Okay, so we do have language on the Meals for Wheels, Senator Cluse.
Thank you. Yeah, because what does this say in here? To nutrition. Oh, well, I guess we can keep it. My apologies. We just wanted to make sure all the language was in there as it was written. So it is, we're good.
Okay, so where did I leave off? Okay, so on number 28, Department of Aging Disabilities, the PD and FE reimbursement rate, add 13.3 million, including 5.3 million SGF to increase the physical disability agency directed personal care services from $19 to $29, increase the frail and elderly level 1 personnel from 27 to 30, and reduce the frail and elderly level 3 personal care services from 33 to 30. Next one we had was reimbursement rate increases. Senate modified add 16 million SGF to provide a 6% reimbursement rate for the IDD waiver services. And along with that, the reimbursement rate for 2028 would include 10 million for a 4%. So between the 2 years, it would move to the $16 starting wage for IDD. So put part in 1 year and part in the next. The RHTP for Pulsar, we took the House modified, add language directing Pulsar to apply for a contract. That's the language, is that right? Okay. On page 5, at the top, the Kansas Neurological Institute, the Cook position, we have a Senate modified, 150,000. The Larner State Hospital, State Security Program Competency Unit, we went with the Senate position to not add the 4.6 million SGF to reopen that unit. We had talked to Secretary Howard, and she said these competency units would not be necessary because half of the beds in the new facility in Wichita are these type beds. So it was like we didn't need to open that up. So that's why we added that on the Senate position. KBI 2.5 salary increase. We took the House on the SGF reappropriation evidence program. House modified, add 25 million SGF. The healthcare services, we went with House, 5.4 million. SGF for the healthcare contract. The Kansas Highway Patrol, we went with the House position on the salary increase. Do not add this. Do not add the 2.7 million. Next was equipment and technology modernization. We went with the House position there, add 3.2 million, including 2.4 million for the KHP Operations Fund. And the last one on the board is the facility mapping grant. We stayed with the Senate, add 2 million, all from 911 operating fund. Did we have any more provisos, Senator Cluse? Okay. We have a couple more provisos, Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This one is on the sports wagering amendment. We got that one. We can get that out. Basically, this is in new negotiations, provision that provides for the above agency and lottery gaming facility manager to renegotiate and enter into a new contract if any changes are in the statute, rules, or regulations enacted, and it becomes effective during the period of such a contract.
We have new information on the proviso we give you on the language for the abortion is incorrect. So we'll have to bring that back and we'll get you correct language.
Okay, we're getting there. And then I have one more proviso, and this is it's called the Capital City Advancement Loan, and this goes into the Link Loan program. And I know you had mentioned that you were wanting to see that come to an end, but I was actually working on this one already, and so if we can look at this and what it, This will tie into that loan program, raising the amount to 60 million. And it's to help rehabilitate Capital City Hotel and the Conference Center through this low-interest loan. And it will be set up with similar terms on what we had on the aviation, minimum of $300,000 per new job. Jobs must meet or exceed 100% of the median county wage. Only U.S. citizens, green card employees will qualify, and an annual report to state treasurer on the status of the employees. And one of the other differences would be it'd be set up on a 10-year versus a 20-year. And the only other thing I would say on this is this has been something that I've been working on for a little while here locally as well, just because we've seen a lot of people that have been using other cities now up in Nebraska, going to Oklahoma even, and since we've had the Stormont Vale Center redone and updated, it's really picking up. But just people are taking their conferences and they're staying in other cities and places. And I just think generally overall for Topeka area, it's been really important. And I think for the capital city, we really need something done there. So that's what this proviso is for, raising that amount and seeing this happen.
Okay, and you have any questions? Oh, okay. Okay, so you had another one, is that right? That was it. Okay, did we do the one on the lottery language? Okay. Okay. Senator Petty has a proviso.
So you may also have gotten this information, but it came to our attention about the State Board of Pharmacy, that they had applied for a grant that, to help with K-Tracks, but then they did not receive that grant. And so they're asking for a transfer from the Kansas Fight Addiction Fund to help with that prescription monitoring program fund. That would be in the amount of $596,000.
So, Mr. Chairman or Madam Ranking, we had looked at this, and so you're telling me they applied at the KFAF and did not receive a grant from the opioid funds? Is that who they applied to?
My understanding is that they applied for a federal grant, did not receive the federal grant.
It's a federal grant. When are the applications open again for the KFAF?
I'd have to research that. I don't know for sure.
Thank you very much. I will add to this because we sent this before. There's a long history with that, but I won't bore you on it. But part of it is we funded them for like 3 years, and then we told them they had to find their own funding because we didn't want to give them SGF. And since then, they have been writing lots of grants and everything else in the process, and their fee funds, and they've been doing well. In fact, they've done what we wanted. But it is very difficult right now in order to get grants, and they've managed almost every year to get a grant that either lasted 3 years, and then they would be applying in the off year to have another grant. And I think in this case, they didn't get it. Why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because part of what they do is the big opioid center and making sure that people are not getting multiple meds along the way. So in many ways, they have lived up to what we said, be creative, get your own money. They have done it. But if the grant runs out, and they've been doing this without SGF for a long time. So I would have brought it up, and I'm glad Senator Petty did it as well, because I think they have earned it, and I know we're cutting back on funds, but we also need to make sure that we're not losing ground as far as opioids and all the things that they have been doing. And as much as I would say, $596 in terms of the work, excuse me, 1,000 is, yes, a lot of money, especially when we're looking for money. But on the other hand, I don't know what they would do without it. They can't expand. And part of it was, if they don't receive the funding or near this, will be, the gateway function that they have will be terminated 6/30/26. And probably you will say, well, that's not our problem, but I do think it is our problem, because in many ways, they remain operational as a standalone web portal. Prescribers and pharmacies would have privately contract. They have set this up, and if they're not able to continue it, and it was based on grants.
Are you done?
Yes, I was trying to think of something else to say, and then I thought to myself, wait a minute, somebody else needs to talk.
Mr. Chairman, couple of things that I wanted to point out on our offer. We had a discussion earlier about the frail and elderly at, you were at 15 million and we were at 19. And so we're about 4 million apart. So our agreeing to not fund those beds in Larned is 4.6. So I'm suggesting that we could use that to get that up to the 19 million that we put in the proposal here. I just wanted to point that out. Also, on the $20 charge on the beds, I know you guys were lower than us on that, but there is, we agreed to $4 million in savings earlier. And on the 911 funding, I know it's in ARPA, but we can switch that ARPA out for some SGF somewhere, but there's 2 million there that I would offer to use that on the MHIT. I know we were talking somewhere around 10 million. I thought, well, here's a couple million that we saved here. Maybe we could put that in there to get us to 12. It's just conversation for us. I'm just trying to get a little extra funding on a couple of these programs and suggestion and a couple of the places where savings have been identified.
Mr. Chair, how long have we been funding private schools and MHIT?
I don't know for sure, but I'm going to ask a friend. I think it's been a couple of years, 2, maybe 3. Jennifer, can you tell us? Pardon me?
Mr. Chair, private schools were added to the MHIT program in 2025.
Also, 1 year.
How many private schools are taking advantage of this?
Jennifer, can you tell me?
Nineteen qualified schools took advantage of it in fiscal year 2025.
Do they have to be accredited? I don't think the language in the bill says that. In fact, the language doesn't say anything about private schools.
So in 2025, Senate Bill 125, qualified school meant any non-public school that provides education to elementary or secondary schools and is accredited by the state board or a national or regional accrediting agency that is recognized by the state board for the purposes of satisfying teacher performance assessments for professional licensure or is working in good faith towards that. Whether it is in the current versions of the bill, I would have to look further.
Could we cite where?
Yes, ma'am. It's on page 148 in lines, the definition is in lines 40 through 43, and then picking up on page 149 in lines 1 and 2. Are you in House Bill 2434? Thank you.
This is the only place that I can see in this language that private schools are mentioned. It was just added in 2025. We mentioned school district 47 times in this proviso. I think I'm probably the only one sitting here that always votes for school choice, but this is not the vehicle to do so. It is not our responsibility to pay for counselors and for other additions to private school in this vehicle. This is not transparent, and if we want to include private schools, then I would ask that private schools and school districts be listed together 47 times in this proviso, so that it's 100% clear what's happening. And I'm not happy about it.
Representative Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. How many private schools did you say we had? 19. 19. All right. This particular program is in 82 counties out of the 105. They are serving 7,500 students as well. So if we have 16 schools out of that, I would say the overwhelming number at 75 and in 82 counties would be, not only are they working with their students, they're also working with their parents as well. And yes, probably you're correct, maybe correct in that private schools, but it's a smaller number. I guess one could look at that by saying you no longer want to have them there. But mental health is mental health. I don't care what schools we are talking about. I think we should look at the effectiveness of the program, and the effectiveness of the program is that it has contributed significantly in the decrease of suicide, which the state of Kansas has a very high rate. In addition to that, the enrollment has remained steady. They've cut down on the absenteeism. Students are making better grades. Parents are seeing a significant increase in the behavior of their children on the positive side. So I understand there may be a concern about the private schools, but the effectiveness of the program is out there for people to see, and it is making a difference. I guess one would say, well, should they be helping private schools? It's a very small number. I guess you could decide that maybe we're not. But in terms of what we wanted was to decrease the suicidal rate And this program is significantly doing that and making a difference. It's a quality program. And I think it would be detrimental to us not to be funding this program because it is doing what we say we want to do and what the state should be supporting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Williams.
This will be my last one for today on this issue. It's 82 schools out of 286 school districts, not counties. This was started as a pilot, maybe around $5 million. It is not equalized, it is not available to all Kansas school children. If we're going to make a claim that it's improving mental health outcomes, then I think what we could do is compare the schools that don't have the program with the schools that do have the program. But I don't think any other way we can actually say that. And we're not providing it to all of our students. It's to 82 schools. That's not 286 school districts.
Okay, I think we need to take this conversation elsewhere. Is there anything else that you need to provide for us, Mr. Chairman?
Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know Representative Waymaster, you talked about employee compensation, and you had made the comment about just those that are severely under market. And so I know we haven't seen anything yet, but are you looking at, even though you're mentioned about raises for just those severely under market, are you also looking at something for every employee to get something in a pay raise?
The offer that I made on the last round, no, I did not. I was just addressing those that are under market, but I thought you guys were going to bring something in regards to a pay increase for the other state employees.
Oh,
And I guess I was under the understanding when he addressed that, when the chairman addressed that on the tear sheets, he said they had a proviso for state employee pay.
Did we? Yeah, so conceptually, I guess it's not written up, but I was going to offer 1% across the board. So everybody got something. $11 million? 13.2 executive branch only. 13.2 million? Okay. 13.2.
Well, we'll go back to my office and try to hash some of these out, and let's meet back at 10:15. All right, Mr. Chairman, sorry about that. I know we're almost an hour late, but we were trying to get everything wrapped up, and hopefully, as I always refer to this as the closer, and hopefully that works. So we'll just, that's all right. Your reaction was one that I was not expecting. All right, so first, I'll just try to go down to the items that we have added to this. I believe all of the items until number 6, the cut score language, we have a house modified and to have those prior to July 1, 2025. The 6 million has been changed. On item number 7, it was saying 10 before. Just trying to make sure that all these are mirroring up to each other. Yes, it's a fix. All the DEI language, I believe, is taken care of. Then on Wichita State University, where's that one at? Which one? Oh, right there, okay. Yeah, so sorry about that, I was trying to find it. On page 3, item number 13, and I'm just going through the items that we changed. And that would be taking out the language to become ongoing funding beginning in fiscal year 2028. We had this discussion with Wichita State University, and they seem to be all right with it.
Which number are you on
13 on page 3, Wichita State University. I guess item number 4, I guess I should be more
there? Okay, digital
specific.
transformation.
Yes, digital transformation. And then we have in 28, obviously funded on the House side. We accepted your language in regards to Cedar Crest. We cannot accept the language for the K-Trax Gateway Proviso due to the fact that it technically is a new item, and that would be a violation of our House rule. Be item number 1 for the Kansas Board of Pharmacy on page 3, right in the middle of the page. Well, I guess I was under the understanding that for the Kansas Department of Insurance, for the HERO Act, it was just language change. And it says add $1 million state general fund, but that's just language change. Okay, so you can strike that add $1 million SGF. Yes, please. You can pass that out. We did not add the language for the sports wagering contract proviso. And then we added language on the top of page 4 under the Senate fiscal auditor to add language. This is just to mirror the exact same language that we have with the House fiscal auditor that we, I believe you had accepted our position on Friday. And to just add language to the Department of Administration to fund a fiscal integrity audit for both the House and the Senate with access to the smart and sharp systems and confidentiality requirements. On Office of the Treasurer, this is the one that I was mentioning that had actually passed the Senate but had a fiscal note. And so first, in Senate Bill 524, this is adding language to delay the implementation for the creation of the fee structure. He was saying that he could implement that in fiscal year 28 and not 27, but then add 254,000 SGF for one FTE position so that they can start getting started with that. But as I mentioned, you passed that in your chamber. We're just funding it. Radical Life, we had taken care of. SNAP administration, we had that. That, am I reading that wrong? It says SNAP administrative match, but it says transfer 25% of revenues that would go to the Attracting Professional Sports Fund. We took the Senate position on that. Senate's modified.
Sir, I believe that's connected to the wrong subtitle.
Yeah.
But the policy is still the same. It's the 25% that goes to the clubhouse model and the reason.
Okay. Oh, we just had that cleaned up. Business Enterprise Task Force, this is to add language to insert House Bill 2788 into the Appropriations Bill to establish the Business Enterprise Program Oversight Task Force that passed our chamber. Okay, so here's probably the big changes. The ACBS Frail Elderly Waiver, we took your position and not adding it in 2026, but we combined our dollars in fiscal year 2027 it says Senate modified or House modified of $15 million. We did not accept the $1 million EDIF for both of the items for the IDD Employment Transportation Pilot Program or the IDD Mental Health Resource Center. Mainly the EDIF one was for the balances of that. Medicaid capacity, we increased, met you in the middle. We were at 10, you were at 20. So we went to $15 per resident per day. Mental health intervention team, I believe we had offered 8, you had offered 12. We had a very passionate statements by the vice chair in the last round. So we're going to leave it as it is, unless you want to add private schools 47 times. That's your deal. Anyways, so we met you in the middle at 10 million for MHIT. But basically leaving the language the way it has been in the last few years. Then on nutritional services, add 3 million SGF and add language that no less than 5.7 million be dispersed to Meals on Wheels providers. I think was your position on the last one. So we accept that. We accepted yours on the PDFE reimbursement rate. We accept the position on our reimbursement rate for 6% in 27 and then 4% in 28. I think you had the language with Pulsera, so we agree to that. We took your position on the cooks for 150,000. We took your position on not opening up the state security program competency unit. That was not added. We took your position, or I think you took our position in the evidence-based program of $25 million reappropriation. We took your position in regards to the $10 million not coming from ARPA, but coming from the 9/11 operating fund. 2 million, what did I say? 10. Oh, no, 2, no. 10 million, they probably wouldn't be happy if it's coming from their fund. The Capital City loan, that is a completely new loan program that would be tied to the linked deposit loan program. And again, with our rule, we cannot accept that because it's completely different subject matter than what was previously on there. And then in regards to salary adjustments, we are sticking with the 10% below market, and that would be the only pay adjustments that would be made for those type of employees. Then I believe we accept your proviso in regards to the Department of Commerce. That one you were getting new language in regards to the Division of Healthcare Finance. We did not accept that one. In regards to the lottery, you accepted that one, I think, and then that. Didn't. No, but they were negotiating the contracts next year. I mean, I just don't think there's any reason why to have that in a budget bill. And I believe, did I cover everything, Dylan? Or any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have the new language on that abortion deal, so we wanted to offer that to you. I think it's been agreed to by both sides, from what I understand. Is that right?
What's that?
I said both sides are okay with that, right?
That's my understanding.
That's what, yeah.
I'm not seeing some of the phrasing that was somewhat problematic for one of them, so I think we're okay with it.
What else you got? Vision health. Oh, that's the same one he gave you, okay. Do we have any other providers? If you could go through this one more time, just put the no's, you know, what, I'll make sure I got them all.
So one of this package that we have, obviously you accepted the Municipal Center for Sustainable Wheat Production from the State Water Plan. DEI, I think we have the agreed language in regards to that. 2-year business, industry, and apprenticeship. You gave us the House position on the last one, and same with the 2-year capital outlay aid. Blueprint for literacy, you accepted our position of 2.7 million, so it's a House modified. We changed the cut score language in 26 and 27, so that is a different position than you had in your prior one. And then we also changed the language to prior to July 1, 2025. Fast Bridge, you had taken the House position. National Board Certification, House. Special Education Funding Reports, both 26 and 27 House. State Assessment Contract and Innovation, on your first offer was House. There's the delete 942,000 from the operating expenditures. I believe you had taken House in regards to the State Assessment Contract Innovation Assessment Pilot Program. We agree to your student walkout language. So we would agree with that. You had taken our position for the next 3 years in regards to the dairy facility, K-State DEI. I think we have that agreed upon. You had taken our position in a cooperative extension services reorganization. Emissions reporting, you took our position in the reporting aspect of that. Pittsburgh, you took our position with the DEI language that was provided by the vice chair. University of Kansas, you took our position of not adding back the $472,000 for IT infrastructure. There's DEI again for the University of Kansas and Wichita State. Wichita State, this is one that changed in our offer, and that would just delete the language that is not going ongoing funding after 2028. Wichita State University, be our position about adding the $7 million and then changing the name to the Military Sustainment Program. Board of Nursing, you accepted our offer of $500,000 instead of $1 million. The Friends of Cedar Crest, we accepted your language not to report any expenditures. K-Trax, as I said, we were not able to accept because that's a new item and would be in a violation of our rules. Cybersecurity for Center of Excellence, you took our position. University Hill Grant, ours. We went ahead and took your position. I would like to have a balance of what is in EDIF when all this is shaken out. Public broadcasting, you took our position, rural opportunity zones, you took our position, rural remote workplaces, you took our position. The HERO Act, obviously, we changed that, so there's no dollar figure, it's just language that's going to be added for that. Lottery transfers, you had a Senate modified, that we accept that with a transfer 25% of the revenues that would go to the Attracting Professional Sports Fund. Sports waging contract proviso, we did not accept that language. Senate Fiscal Auditor, as I mentioned before, this is just mirroring, it's a House position and mirroring the same that would be in the House. Fee structure, that is the one where we're talking about delaying implementation of Senate Bill 524 and then adding the FTE underneath that. You took our position in Radical Life. This is the one where we got to change the language under the SNAP administration map, because that language actually was in someplace else. Business Enterprise Task Force, that was the language that we're having added because of House Bill 2078 being passed and establishing the Business Enterprise Program Oversight Task Force. This was the change in our offer in regards to HCBS for elderly waiver. We took your position in 26, $15 million in 27. IDD Employment Transportation Pilot Program, we did not accept that. We did not accept the other item as well for the IDD Mental Health Resource Center. Medicaid capacity, Senate modified, met you in the middle with $15 per resident per day. Mental health intervention team, again, met you in the middle with $10 million for the mental health intervention team. Nutritional services, it's a House modified that I believe is the same language as in the previous offer. The PDFE reimbursement rates, that was a Senate position. We agree with that. The reimbursement rate increase, Senate modified, where you had 6% of the reimbursement rate for the IDD waiver services in 27, and then the remaining 4% to make it 10% total over 2 years. The RHTP for PSARA, we added the language directing PSARA to apply for a contract with federal dollars. We took your position in regards to the Senate modified of $150,000 SGF for cooks. We took your position of the State Security Program Competency Unit of not allowing Larned State Hospital to reopen the $4.6 million competency unit. Do not add for the KBI a 2.5% pay increase. Reappropriation of the evidence-based program, that was, I believe we were 20 and you were at 30, 31, is that right? 30, and so we met you in the middle at 25. Healthcare services, that's a House position, add 5.4 million SGF for the healthcare contract. The pay increase for the highway patrol, do not add. Don't pull me over when I get home. Equipment and technology modernization, add 3.2 million from the KHP Operations Fund. You accepted this before with the reporting requirements for the fire marshal. The facility mapping grant, we changed the funding source, so we took your position of all from the operating fund. The capital city loan, again, because of our rule, we were not able to say that language because it's substantially different than what's in the bill. And then salary adjustments, add language, provide pay increase for positions under market value, raising to 10% below market.
And on your pay raise, the below market, 5.5 million SGF.
Somewhere around there, yes.
And how many employees would that be?
It'd be, I don't know how many employees that would be. I don't know exactly how many employees that would be, but it'd be just trying to address those that are severely under market with the most recent market study that was completed.
Senator Petty.
Thank you. So when we talk about those that are under market, it's interesting because if you look at physician specialists, we have 20 of those, and the Kansas average their hourly rate is 147. To bring them to market rate would be, they would get a 21% increase. Application development supervisors, there's 9 of them. They're presently at $49.55. They would get a 12% increase to bring it to market rate, bring it to $56. General maintenance and repair, we've got 19 of them. They're at $19. They're going to get a 10% raise. I mean, it sounds good, but yet we're putting a lot of money in a few positions. Capital area guards, there's 11 of them. They would get a 9% raise as opposed to a 21% raise at the physician specialist level. Administrative assistants, we've got 248 of them. They're going to get a 7%. Custodial specialists, a 4%. So we have a lot of employees that are not going to be getting any kind of a raise, and yet we're looking at some that are going to get a 21% raise.
Well, and I really want to classify it, I mean, you could look at it as a 21% raise, but what we're trying to do is bring them up to market. I mean, we've been doing something unjustly for them by keeping them under market, and I don't know what the turnover has been, but if they could go do the same kind of job and get a higher rate of pay, they probably left. And this is addressing the under market employees. And if you do a 2.5% across the board pay increase like the governor wants, you only compound the problem. You don't address it. And we're trying to address the problem.
Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think on the abortion language, there's still some changes that need to be looked at.
I think we've got all the provisos at this time. I think, did you have anything else as far as provisos? No? Okay.
Is it clear to you which provisos they have or have not? Is it clear to you which provisos they did or did not?
I think so. They're dealing, the lottery, I believe the lottery is the only proviso that you didn't agree to. Right, yeah, and there was a couple of them that I give, like on the Children's Mercy, which was no longer needed, and we took a couple of them out, so.
The only other 2 that we didn't accept was the Board of Pharmacy, and then also the, what was it, the city capital loan or that loan program.
So I guess on that one, Mr. Chairman, seems like we've had some language, some things that were allowed beforehand. I'm not quite following you on that one.
Well, the initial subject matter that has passed either one or both chambers is substantially different than what this loan program would be for. So it'd be changing the entire program, and the auspices that it was passed under would not be the same. And so it'd be a violation of our House rule because it substantially changes the loan program for a completely different matter than what was passed out of the House. I mean, that was for painting and drying of aircraft. This is a loan on a conference center and a hotel. Completely 2 different matters.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, why don't you give us about 30 minutes, and we'll come back, and that way we can see if we can get that language fixed. And we'll look over your offer. All right, thank you. We'll be back in 30 minutes then. Okay, thanks. Mr. Chairman, couple of things. I don't think we've got agreeable language on the abortion yet, and so we may just need to do this back and forth here and then come back in the morning, I guess. I don't know. It's getting pretty late. I was hoping, and I know you were too, stick around, try to get it done, but it looks like we're running into problems. Anyway, your proviso on the HERO program, we're okay with that. We'll take that. There was a few things that changed on here. Looks like there's some new language on the fire marshal, and there's something on this business enterprise. Cut scores, I think, have changed, and state assessment. I would offer you those 4 items. If you would consider putting the 2 IDD items that we had. If you do that, I think we're done with everything but the language on the abortion bill. So, like I said, I think we're planning on coming back in the morning, but I'll give you that, and you can think over it overnight and see what you want to do there. No. Yeah, we'll do that in the morning, yeah. So, well, okay, whatever. So, anyway, we've got a couple things we may bring in the morning, and we want to talk to our leadership and see, but nothing major. So, I think with that, if you're okay with it, we'll recess till tomorrow.
Yeah, 10:30.
Does that works for you? In the morning? Okay, yeah. I don't know what time we go in. We've been there all day. Anyway, if 10:30 works for you, we'll call for 10:30 and. Okay, we'll call for 10:30 in the morning. Thank everyone for attending.